I'm walking on sunshine. I just got
What?
that. And I said, sunshine, that song popped in my head.
Well, I don't want you to sing it because I actually want people to stick around for the rest of the show.
Yeah. You're mean to me.
You were just accusing me of being mean, and yes, I am very mean. And I say I dub myself as approachable and vulnerable, but I'm a bully to see ya. So be it. But on that note, let's kick our intro and we'll get today's show started.
Clearly, we gotta fix our vibes. Here we go. Hello, hello, we're rocking.
Uh, yes, this is a good warm up for tonight. This is like the opening act. Your intro, as I say every show, always inspires me. I just think it's so authentic to who you and I both are, being music fans and just loving to have a good time. So thank you again for always putting that great intro together. But yeah, opening band tonight is you, Sia, for Indie. That's why I'm not in my usual location filming today's show.
I was just gonna say your tastes in decor has evolved apparently to beige on beige on beige with some kind of weird quilted looking pattern
Yeah,
there in the
well,
chair.
while I am moving into a new place on my own, I can assure you my interior decorating skills are much better than this Hilton motif we have here at the Noblesville Hampton Inn Fishers. As my dad's on the other bed there listening from afar. We're getting ready to see Pearl Jam tonight. Show 68 for me. Hail, hail. I'm so stoked.
Hail, hail! Oh wait! Hold on, applause for that.
But yeah, I wish this show, I wish everything I do was about Pearl Jam, but that's just not the case. And we're here today to talk a little bit more about an organization doing great in the world through different forms of art. And I know, Sia, you have been around the arts for a long time, and you know the value of being creative in your own different ways. So, what does something like the Art Impact Project mean to you?
Because the world needs creativity. Because creativity feeds into the idea of thinking outside the box, and life wears you down, and so if you have that opportunity to just live in the moment in your brain, right? It's like Willy Wonka, right? World of
I
pure
love it. It's like
imagination.
a concert, right? A
It is.
concert.
It is. And for
Listen, that's
me,
why I love Pearl Jam.
exactly. For me, music is a huge thing for me for my outlet, and art is in different. It's eye of beholder, right? So whatever thing you see in beauty, like I'll give Andrew Bennett a shout out. He's a huge Lego guy, right? Like to me, you can do a lot of artistry with Legos, right?
Oh,
So
100%.
the world is your oyster, everyone. So I'm so excited for your conversation with Liz Fales. She's awesome. She's a little similar to me. We were just chatting it up
UFOs now.
earlier, and she started singing mid conversation. Chris, I'm warning you preemptively.
Listen, I could handle two of you of the same, I promise. So while I don't have to have both of you on, let's kick you back and get Liz on, and we can get today's show started.
Wow, kick me out.
Bye.
Oh,
I'm bullying you today. I
bye.
told you.
I know. Bye, guys. Ah,
There she is, Liz. How are you? So very excited to have you. Sia and I were too busy making fun and poking at each other. We didn't formally introduce you. So if I may, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Liz Fales. She is the executive director of the Art Impact Project, the North Shore of Chicago, doing great work through art. And she's a great friend and a great partner. Liz, I don't want to do you a disservice. So please, the floor is yours. Let listeners and viewers know who you are and a little bit about the Art Impact Project.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. So my name is Liz, and I've actually just earlier this month celebrated my 1 year anniversary, which is crazy. Time flies. Yes, one whole year I made it.
You did it.
Yes, I did it at the Art Impact Project. But really, prior to being here, the majority of my career has been in and around supporting young people, kids, adults who have experienced abuse and violence and trauma in their lives. I used to work locally at our Rape Crisis Center, our domestic violence program. I used to work in St. Louis. And it really took coming here and being able to be out of that raw space of trauma constantly to move towards resilience and joy and hope again. And so a lot of the work that I've done in the past has really been, I used to run crisis lines, for example, and go to hospitals for people who had experienced sexual abuse and sexual assault. And so I am extra grateful to be in this role, because what we get to do is bring joy back and bring connection back and bring a sense of self back to people. So I spent many, many years around the foster care system and all of that. So it is truly a joy to be here in this role.
Yeah, no, listen, and when I said, a friend and a partner, like you mentioned some key buzzwords that obviously I kind of spidey senses get, trauma and resilience, and some of the things that I've endured, right, really have opened my eyes to the ways to enhance those things, right? And art is just such a creative outlet and way for one to express oneself. But I don't want to talk about that too much right now. I want to talk a little bit about the organization, right?
Wow.
Start, you've been 1 year. What does this transition look like? I know the founder, and Vicky is still a part of the organization, and that's a great relationship that you have, and a unique opportunity to continue to leverage people who are so passionate about the organization. And I have partners all the time who talk about working as an executive director under a founder, right? Or alongside a founder. And it's a unique relationship. So if you don't mind, first talk about all the great work and how Art Impact got started through Vicky. And then, what's that relationship like now?
Yeah. So I will start off by saying that there are all the horror stories to be had about taking over for a founder in the nonprofit space. You mentioned it. It's like the dirty secret that we don't talk about, or those of us in the sector do behind closed doors. And I mean it genuinely. Vicky and I are determined. We have made a commitment to each other that that's not going to be us, that we are in love with mission. We love what this organization has become. And so we've really been able to establish a really great relationship and work through a lot of the pain points that causes a lot of difficulty, to be perfectly honest, in the success and growth trajectory of a nonprofit. And so I'm really proud of that. Like I said, I've just been here for a year. Our origin story is beautiful, so I would love to give you the quick version of it.
Sure.
The quick version of our origin story is that one of her children, when they were in high school, were really, really struggling with drug and alcohol addiction. And although they had the resources to provide all of the support that their child, could possibly access, nothing seemed to really be touching their child in the way that they needed it to really reach him. And so Vicky, being an artist, a loving, smart, caring person, and a mom above all else, which I also am, so I connect fiercely to the motivation behind our program, that she was going to use what she knew. And there's the community organizations and all of that, and the mental health support. But using art just simply as an avenue, words are not enough sometimes. And especially when you're dealing with children and adolescents, they may not have the words. And so Vicky kind of really opened the door through that and found a lot of success through that space and through her own family. And I'm very happy to share that her kids are all doing great. They're thriving, and they all actually volunteer for us, which is
amazing.
Incredible. Yes, right? Keeping it in the family.
I love it.
And so we were founded in 2014. We are a 501c3. And Vicky did everything. I don't know how she did it. I honestly don't, but what was an idea, transformed into a high impact, really powerful, inspiring, joyful, organization and commitment to our community that we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year.
Did we lose her?
And so that's a little bit how we got started. But now we've certainly expanded beyond just working with adolescents. We don't work with kids any younger than middle school. And really that's because our model that's the best match for it. So we don't work with littles, but we work all the way up through with seniors. We have veterans programming, we work in schools, and we work with drug and alcohol treatment programs, behavioral health, and that kind of thing. And basically what we do is, we have over 100 projects. And I want to emphasize too that our model is, it's not art therapy. It's different.
Yeah, I was going to get into that.
Yes.
So quickly, like I was going to ask if you don't mind, right?
Please.
We talk a lot about therapy, right? In many facets. Obviously, I'm akin to therapy in different forms, myself, but it's important for one to understand exactly the mission, right? You're not a therapy, you're not a medically inclined outfit, right? So you're not a clinician. So talk about the difference and what it is exactly that you hone in on and what you're trying to pull out of those that you so kindly participate and have programming for.
Yeah. I mean, our mission is really simple. It's using creative expression to enhance emotional wellness. So we're not dabbling ourselves yet. We're not there in music and all of the other ways that the arts can help our mind, body, and soul. But as an example, our model is intentionally more of a peer-to-peer structure than what you would see in a clinical space. And so when we go, for example, with our veteran programming, once a month, we do the projects with them. Our projects are designed to have, a goal in mind, but it's not really, the goal is not the product. We're not aiming for instruction, and this is how you do this kind of
So
art.
it's not like Bob Ross art parties with wine and
love Bob Ross. Yes.
I could not talk about art and not drop in Bob
Fair.
Ross. Come on.
Totally fair. Everyone, how do you not love Bob Ross?
Exactly.
And so while, there is that space, we intentionally flatten the power dynamic. We do not have a dynamic in which, our participants feel like they're being monitored, they're being judged. And the goal really is just that space of connection to yourself and connection to those around you. So you can imagine the impact of 10 veterans sitting in a room together, whether it's watercolor painting or, painting rocks. Like, we have so many projects that are really, really cool. It's amazing what opens up in our minds when we allow that to happen, when we just make it safe to be like, yeah, I'm going to try this, rather than intending to come at it from this clinical therapeutic aim. It's really just, here's the project that we're going to do. What does this mean to you? What does this mean for you? And it's incredible what happens when you take away the emphasis on what it looks like in the end, but the process of making is gold. And that's really where we spend our energy.
Listen, and you're going to laugh, and those listening and watching that know me well aren't going to be surprised. But as you're talking, I hearken back to Billy Madison, right? Adam Sandler in that movie says, I colored the duck blue because I never have seen a blue duck. And I've just wanted to see a blue duck.
Yeah.
And there's the beauty in art, right? If there's a way to just express how creativity can open one's mind, and particularly in adolescence,
Yes.
and those that have survived or experienced trauma, to just be themselves and almost have control over something, right? In such a manner that I just wanted to see a blue duck, right? Like, how impactful and how healing and empowering and how much resilience I know personally that could instill upon others. So while I haven't yet participated in any of your programs, like, I could just tell I will. And I can already understand the benefit of doing so, right? So thank you for that. But we did have some great questions, and I wanted just to get to one that I think is important to note. So you're talking about these great programs for veterans and for adolescents. How does one become a partner of yours, and who are some of your great partners that you're serving today?
Yeah, that's such a great question. Thank you. So everything that we do is in collaboration with. Our space is like the size of a studio apartment. There's no chance that we could host anything here. So when we work with the school, we go to that school. One of our longest running partners is Lake Forest High School, but we also work with Waukegan High School and North Chicago High School. We work with local libraries. As I mentioned, the Drug and Alcohol Treatment Program, that's a residential facility. So we work with their staff and decide what is it that you're looking for your members, your participants, your students. And then we select a project with them that sort of meets the aim that they're looking for. And the research tells us, and we know this to be true, whether it's a child or an adult, that the more consistent exposure to art and the more opportunity to continue engaging, the better the result and the more impact that it can have for somebody. And so schools are a great way for us to have those ongoing relationships and build trust and build a sense of connection with us in that space. And so schools is a great example, but when we work with our veteran programs, we work with the local James Lovell Federal Health Center, as well as the Brushwood Center and the Special Recreation Association, SRAC, of Central Lake County. Yeah, all the acronyms, all the things.
That's a lot of letters.
You is in connection and in partnership with another. And that's how we have grown so much to serve over 2,000 people a year.
2,000 people is no small feat, right? And we were talking behind the scenes a little bit, and I was just in my crazy brain wondering how you're going to grow and what your needs are and how much money we're going to raise and so on and so forth. But, you know, it always dawns on me anytime I have these conversations with great folks like yourself, like this work doesn't come free. You're not charging the VA to go conduct a program. You're not charging Waukegan High School, right? So talk a little bit about that model, right? What does it take to get a program uplifted? What are some of the needs? You know, various things like that. It's just amazing to hear that you're serving 2,000 people per year, X amount of organizations all throughout the Chicagoland area, and it's all for free. You know, how does that work?
So just to clarify, our programming is always free to our participants. Our participants are never asked to
Correct. Yep.
actually pay. But we do partner with, and we're very lucky. The reason that we've been able to go into schools, especially like Waukegan High School, is during COVID, the federal government, and probably even prior, but especially due to COVID, has put a lot of money behind social emotional learning and bringing programs to schools that do enhance and provide social emotional learning. And that's exactly us. We are the perfect fit for that. And so some of our school partners, they actually do have the ability, we do work with them and we ask for a fee for service, because when we go to that high school, we're serving hundreds of kids and art supplies are absurdly expensive. But again, to your question, the first time that I went to Waukegan High School, one of my classrooms, this girl who clearly was an artist and loved art, opened up and grabbed her canvas and said, "Oh my God, this is a real canvas. This is a really nice canvas." And so the access to the supplies, the access to, paint and canvas and all of the things, in full transparency, I'm not an artist. I've been in nonprofit work forever. But art is in my family and in my genes. And so I love it. I just cannot successfully make the best.
Well, time out, right? I would think, hear me out. It sounds weird coming from you, the executive director of the Art Impact Project, saying I'm not an artist.
Correct.
I would assume we all are in our own way, right? We all are artists, right? And in some way, shape, or form, this podcast, this live stream is a form of art, right? It's a medium to tell a story. And so don't discredit yourself. I'm sure you're a good artist, and you wouldn't want any of your participants to think they were an artist either. So
you absolutely caught me, because that's what we say, right? Like that you're not here to what you create is not going to be judged. This is not a contest. This is about making something that makes you feel good. So thank you for calling me out on that. And actually,
we're friends. That's what are friends for. But listen, I want I want to just, mention really quickly and talk about some of the power of your programming. And, you and I, we've gotten to know each other and we've had conversations about my experience, unfortunately a few years ago of having, been in the mass shooting in Highland Park, but you're serving victims, of that experience still to this day. And that is really why, above all else, aside from thinking you're really cool and your mission is great, like that's why I've really honed in and said, hey, I'm going to work as hard as I can to uplift the Art Impact Project, because not only are you doing great work in the world, but you're actually helping those that have experienced something I have myself. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind, talk a little bit about what that looked like and what that interaction and how that programming has started and where it's at today, particular to Highland Park, Illinois, please.
Yes. And I'm a crier, so just, hold on tight because that may or may not. We'll see. So most people are at least recognize the name Ding Ding Highland Park. Unfortunately, Highland Park is about 10 to 15 minutes from us here. We're in Lake Bluff, but we serve the whole community. And following the shooting, what occurred in 2022, the Arts Center Highland Park, I want to shout them out. They're an incredible partner, an incredible community organization that without hesitation did not skip a beat, opened their doors immediately and said, we don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. And we partnered with them and we brought in just seriously wide open, anyone walk in. We had different kinds of projects that people could do by themselves, that they could do with their families, that and those first days and weeks following that event, our community really, we all did our best to wrap ourselves around our neighbors for what they experienced and what happened to us. Even if you were not there, this is our community and it happened to us. And so we are still 2 years later, again, Highland Park, the Art Center Highland Park. We have a partnership with them and we go every single month, and it's just a wellness workshop. Anyone can come and participate. We've kind of let it be open, but with the trial, unfortunately, it's going to be happening. We're going to go back to where we started, and we're going to be talking specifically and do the best we can to provide that safe space and outlet for, living it, just being here, just re-experiencing, being re-traumatized at whatever that level that is for people. So we never stopped being at the Art Center, but we're going to be kind of more specifically. And we also work with some of one of the after school programs there. And I want to also shout out the Highland Park Community Foundation. They helped us launch a knitting program. And so again, our community was like, what do we do? What does anyone do when there is a mass shooting? There is no playbook for this. We don't know what to do. And so
we still don't, right? I think, and again, shout out to Terry Olian, right? The Highland Park Community Foundation. And I have stories upon stories about the weeks and, the immediate weeks after the event, and, how I had to partner with her, Terry, to help raise funds. Obviously Madame Zuzu's and Billy Corgan conducted a great a form of art and a concert to raise a bunch of money in itself. And, there's stories that go on, but, I want to shift the conversation before I get worked up myself here. I'm not a crier, darn it. No, I am. But anyways, all this great work you're talking about, all the partnerships that you've fostered yourself, right? And as Vicky has kind of, handed over the keys, if you will, but it doesn't come free, right? You don't charge the participants. You do have some fortunate opportunities through grants, as you mentioned.
Yes.
But it's not free. And we were talking like, hey, how can Art Impact grow? And you're like, Chris, I just need another art teacher, but I can't hire one because I don't have the money. So the point of the matter is talk a little bit about the funding efforts of Art Impact Project, what goes into it, and then we'll talk about September 26th as we wind down.
Yes. So we would not be able to have transitioned from our founder through her blood, sweat, and tears of bringing us to existence to a professional staff and the amount of growth that we want to see without some of those funders. And so we are very fortunate to have local foundations, the Staines Family Foundation, the Granger Foundation, Gorder Family Foundation. I mean, I could go on. We are very lucky to have the support of foundations. But yes, as we grow, we have 2 staff. We cannot be in 6 places at one time. Our volunteers are incredible and amazing, and we could not do our work without them. But volunteers are volunteers. They don't have always the capacity and the availability, to be at all of our programming as we need them to. And, my career started in programming. My first job out of college was at a domestic violence shelter. And the only reason I'm sitting here right now was because tell me 12 years ago I would be doing fundraiser and I would call you a liar. But the reality is that this work cannot happen without funding. As I mentioned, art supplies and all of, it's expensive. There's a lot of work that goes into running a professional, responsible organization. And so we've really had to ramp up our fundraising initiatives, and it's a hard time. We know we live in the same community as our donors and supporters, and we know how expensive it is to live right now. And so we're just in this bridge moment where, in order for us to keep up with the demand of where we are needed, we have to have more people. And so I'm doing the best I can, writing grants left, right, and center. But our event is really special to us. And this one is going to be extra special because it's our 10-year anniversary. It's the first time we're launching the Vicki Marasco Impact Award, where I'm going to hold on to his name for a surprise, but the person who is going to be the winner is so beloved in our community. And what we do at our event, it's not like any other event. It's an art installation. When you walk in, you feel like you're at the cross between a really beautiful cocktail party and an art museum, or a gallery opening or something like that. But the difference is that at our installation, we've invited community members, supporters, local celebrities to create a unique one-of-a-kind piece for us. And so the vessel this year, the theme is holding space. And so the artists they range from metalsmith to sculptor to graffiti artists. So it's beautiful. It's amazing what these people create. And out of the goodness of their hearts and truly for that reason alone, their commitment to our mission, they're donating their time, their resources for these pieces. But it doesn't end there, because we ask them to write a narrative. We ask them to share their story. Why is art important to you? What does art do for you in your life? And those storyboards, I want to swear, but I won't.
No. This is a kid-friendly show. Kid-friendly show.
They will take your breath away. Last year, Ricky Rocket, the drummer from Poison, did a mask, and he called it his hell mask. And it was very powerful. And the narrative was all about going through cancer treatment. And everybody knows somebody who has experienced that, whether they made it out alive or not. The going through cancer treatment is awful. And so when a person donates and purchases that item from our event, they get the storyboard along with the piece. And so we are the beautiful blending and embodiment of art as mental health and wellness. That's really what we do. So
I'm getting goosebumps. And, if you're not yet, if you haven't gotten a ticket, early bird pricing is still available. The event is September 26th, 1 month from today, at 28 Mile in Highwood, Illinois. I will be serving.
Venue, by the way.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Mike and the staff there is just second to none, frankly. I do several events a year there, but I'm just so excited to be serving as the master of ceremonies, in auctioneer extraordinaire, whatever you call it. But
yes.
I just can't wait to see the vessels and, everything that we have going for, that community that night.
Yeah. It's a fun event. It's not, and you're right. Shout out to 28 Mile. They're amazing. They have been so good to us. I cannot even communicate that enough. And it's 6 to 9. It's short and sweet. It's fun more than it is, formal. We don't have a ton of speeches. It's really about holding space, immersing yourself. How do each of these art pieces speak to you? And to give people the opportunity to be in community with others who understand and appreciate how the arts truly heal us. The arts help our brains function better. They help us be creative. They help us, know ourselves better. And so it's a great event. Early bird tickets are 100. But if you wait until after September 1st, it bumps up to 125. So we'd love to have you join us. But make sure you get your tickets before while we still have the early bird pricing available.
Yeah, and I love the theme of holding space, right? It's just when you say that term, right, it means so many different things to so many people. And if you haven't already, please scan that QR code that keeps coming up now and again. It'll take you directly to the Art Impact Project's website. You can give a few bucks or learn more about their mission and the event coming up on the 26th. But Liz, I can't just thank you enough for allowing this space for us to get to know you and all about the Art Impact Project and everything it is that you do. And when I think of art, I obviously lean into music immediately. And, my space today is, as I said, I'm in Indianapolis and I'm like a kid at Christmas getting ready to go see Pearl Jam. But before we sign off, I wanted just to, give you one more chance to let, those viewers and listeners, know where they can find you, any more information they can connect on social media. We talked a little bit about tickets already, but now's the chance, give us that 30-second elevator pitch for the Art Impact Projects.
So I am personally on LinkedIn as Elizabeth Fales, and love to connect with people who are invested in the same kind of work that we are. But really our Facebook page is the best place to see for yourself. I have one of our kids' pieces up behind me, but we are constantly going to different spaces and sharing what our young people all the way up to our seniors create. And just to see it is beautiful. It will take your breath away. So check out our website. I'm not going to lie, it needs some updating, but again, 2 staff, nonprofit, scrappy, doing the best we can. Our Facebook page is the best place to really get a sense of who we are, and what we're doing in our community to help bring support, and just really enhance overall wellness for everyone that we interact with.
Yeah. And, and when you say everyone, I will just attest, I'm one of those. While I haven't participated in a program, just knowing about the work that is that you folks do, getting to know you as a human and see pictures of your little mini me's. Man, she looks exactly like you. Like, it's super, super scary. But nevertheless, yeah, I've just enjoyed this time so much today, getting to know you and show the world who you are and all it is that you're about and the Art Impact Project is to the world. So thank you. And yeah, if you haven't already, please, September 26th, join us, 28 Mile. We're going to be holding space and raising a bunch of money for the Art Impact Project so the mission can be carried forward. And, before we sign off, I want to just say, Liz, it's been an honor. And, thank you for all you do, have done, are doing, and that we'll do together moving forward. So before we do that, please check out hailhailauctions.com. Get a chance to follow us on all the things, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, anywhere else. We'll promote great organizations like the Art Impact Project and ways to help uplift great organizations. So, Liz, I don't know if you have anything else to say. I'm going to go take a shower and get tailgating. I have an appearance real quick, just so you know, this afternoon, first time ever, I'm doing a podcast from a tailgate at a Pearl Jam concert. 2 dudes and killer tunes out of Michigan. They're a fantastic music-based podcast. So if you need some background noise, but I'm doing a live one from a tailgate. It's going to be crazy. So,
well, I love tailgating. Please, no one judge me or punish me for being a Packer fan, but I did.
Nope. All right. Show's over. See you later. And actually, I'm busy on the 26th now. You're going to need to find another auctioneer. We were going so good until that.
Oh, sorry.
All right. I love you anyways. Thank you so much for joining.
So much.
See you. Let's kick that outro. I got a show to go to. Liz, you're the best. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.
Falling asleep with your head in the wrong position is a pain in the neck. You deserve Tausi Comfort for head, neck, and back support. Go to tausibrands.com and get your comfort on.